This story comes to us from newschannel9.com. Out of East Ridge, Tennessee. We're going to Tennessee. We're going to talk a little bit about the cops out there in Tennessee. An East Ridge police officer will receive remedial training and a one-day suspension. 1 day. He's going to spend 1 day suspension. Red rum. And a 1 day suspension, and a man is no longer charged with aggravated assault days after a body camera video revealed a heated exchange between the officer and the man during a police call, according to Chief Stan Allen. Stan Allen says on May 16th of this year, he was told of a potential problem that occurred on December 4th of 2021 with Officer Sam Roystershire.
So you threatening off-duty officer?
No, he threatened me.
This police report says Kadron Laughlin worked for Orange Grove and was dropping off a client at a home when the family dog got loose.
And he accidentally let our dog out. That's all that happened.
According to that report, Laughlin tried to help the family chase down the dog and ended up on off-duty police officer Andrew Carter's property.
He says you threatened him first. Is that an incorrect statement?
It is.
The report says Laughlin threatened Carter with a weapon that police found in Laughlin's car, but body camera video shows Laughlin explaining Carter threatened him first.
So I've got a he said, she said. Granted, he's an officer, but I have to look at it from that side.
The dog running loose had entered Carter's yard, and the neighbor's son and a visitor, Kadron Laughlin, were chasing the dog, according to Stan Allen. Stan Allen says Officer Carter told Mr. Laughlin to get the dog out of his yard. Mr. Laughlin responded with profanity and threats with the words, "Shut the up! I got something for you in the car, you pig." That's according to Chief Stan Allen. Now, when the officer Roystershire arrived on the scene, Mr. Laughlin started towards the house and refused commands to stop until almost inside. Allen says the encounter is mostly on body camera footage from Officer Roystershire's body camera, and apparently the camera malfunctioned at the start. Surprise. A police body camera malfunctioning? Say it ain't so. Normally, when activated, Allen says the camera records video with no sound, but when reviewing the footage, the beginning immediately has sound. Well, that's not called malfunctioning. That's called working properly.
Don't make me come in that house. I will come in that house. I will come in that house. Get out here now. Do it now. Do it now. You think I'm going to argue with you? I'm going to tase your...
What's playing out on your screen now? The first 12 seconds of this East Ridge police interaction captured on body camera video.
I didn't do nothing.
All I came here to do was to talk to you. Now,
They should have been one.
don't tell me how to run my shift. I'll have as many officers here as I want. Do you understand what I'm saying?
The video shows Kadron Laughlin sitting on the front steps of a home as East Ridge police officer Roy Stacker questions him.
During the interaction between Officer Roystershire and Mr. Laughlin, Corporal Crow checked the vehicle Mr. Laughlin was driving and found a loaded Smith & Wesson .40 caliber pistol, including a 30-round magazine and a small amount of marijuana. Now, Stan Allen, the chief, says 2 others were in the car who, according to Mr. Laughlin, are clients of Orange Grove Center with mental disabilities. And he released the following statement about dropping the charges. As a result of my inquiry, I believe the charge of aggravated assault to be inappropriate. I had a discussion with ADA Cameron Williams, and the decision was made to dismiss the charge of aggravated assault and not pursue the appropriate charges of reckless endangerment for leaving a loaded firearm in the vehicle with the clients. The video showing the incident was first brought to my attention by ADA Williams after he'd been told Mr. Laughlin's attorney, Chris Dixon. Mr. Dixon also provided the video to a local news outlet who aired portions of it on air. The body camera footage from the other officers on the scene was purged after 60 days, as is normal when not tagged for a manual hold. Now, did you guys catch that at the end of that statement? Their body camera footage was purged after 60 days because there was no manual hold. Manual hold. What does that mean? That means if they do something terrible, they can go, we're not putting a hold on this. We are not putting a hold on this footage. Let it go after 60 days. So who does the manual hold, though? The officer? His supervisor? Internal affairs? That's the question. Who gets to do the manual hold? Or who gets to decline the manual hold? Now, Officer Royster will receive a 1-day suspension for the language that was used towards Mr. Laughlin and remedial training in Tennessee state law.
The video shows officers asking Carter which charge he thinks fits what happened here.
I'm asking you what you want to do with it. I'll do whatever you want done. You're the Vic.
I'd like to prosecute for ag assault.
Police ultimately arrested Laughlin.
Okay? And yeah.
Laughlin was later fired from Orange Grove and is now facing aggravated assault charges. But his attorney tells us what happened here was an excessive reaction, and he wants to see the DA's office drop this case.
So it goes down a little farther. There's more to this story, too, that I didn't give you. If you want to look at it, click the link in the description box. But basically, you have an off-duty cop who complains about, I get the dog complaint. I get it. Dogs go in your yard, they crap in your yard, and it's the neighbor, and you're like, dude, you're going to clean it or what? I get all that. But the guy, they got into some type of argument. The guy said something. But we're only getting one side, really, because this dude said, I got something in my car for you. But we don't know what he was responding to. What did Carter say to him in order for him to say that? You know what I mean? This is a two-party thing. The only thing is the cop is being treated as a true victim, and the other guy is being treated as a criminal of aggravated assault, yet the assistant district attorney dropped his charges. Why did he drop his charges? Very interesting, Mr. Bond.
From your hands!
After just a month ago, we brought you this body camera video, also from East Ridge, as their officers responded to a traffic stop.
Get out of the car!
Today, we dug into East Ridge Police's use of force policies.
It's a guideline to how officers should conduct themselves.
Vince Champion tells us this section of East Ridge's policy would apply to using weapons like tasers. It points out that the weapons are used in situations when hand-to-hand techniques are not sufficient to control disorderly or violent subjects.
You use one step above the force needed to answer to the force you're receiving.
The East Ridge Police Chief couldn't comment on this new video as he decides whether to open an IA investigation into this case. But he did tell us after this officer was captured on video using a stun gun that this kind of force is sometimes necessary to gain control of a situation. But Kadron Laughlin's attorney tells us this large police response was uncalled for and excessive. Laughlin's attorney wants to see charges dropped before this case goes to court.